how important the technical research design could do to you. Okay, a good research design ensure that you have a smooth operation of your research. So that means that you have think of everything ahead, you plan well. So when you start doing things, you don't sort of like stuck somewhere and don't know what to do. Okay, for example, I know that like sometimes we know what we are going to analyze and what instrument we are going to use, but sometimes we forgot that whether we have that instrument available. Okay, so that is a part of a research design. If you don't think about that, you get stuck somehow. Okay, or some people wants to do this experiment, but unfortunately the chemicals that they have to use is very difficult to obtain, and there are so many, it takes a long time to obtain it, and it takes a lot of process. That could be a problem if you don't have a good design. Okay, and the good design also give you an efficient research. Okay, efficient. Okay, efficient means that you pay a little but you gain a lot. So that means that you maximize the information that you get when you are doing your research, and you don't have to use a lot of effort. You don't waste money and you don't waste time. Okay, so that means that you do an experiment and you don't do so much experiment and get so little information, or do an experiment and it's fail and you have to do it again. Okay, when you are in laboratory class, when you are doing like lab subject, that is okay. But I mean, lab fail the lab is okay, but when you are doing actual research, one time that you fail the lab, that means that you lost money because you are just wasting the chemicals. Okay, you are just wasting your time and your advisor time as well. So basically, even though it's a part of the learning process, but you have to keep that in mind as well. Okay, so these are all that I want to talk about the technical research design. Okay, and next time we see each other, which will be tomorrow at 8:30. We will go through all the three topics in the technical research design. So basically, it's not a lot of things to talk about. It's a concept, and what I can do best is I just give you some example so you get some idea. And of course, if you have any question or anything that you have past experience and you want to discuss or ask me about this type of stuff, you can. Okay, and for Thai student, you can ask me in Thai. I can answer you in Thai, and then I can translate to your friends and just summarize things up. All right, so that will be all for the lecture today. Anyone has any? Yes.
Then I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
When we design the research, there will be a lot of procedure or analyzing method that you can use. For example, like you said, glucose. Glucose can be used like reducing sugar analysis for SPOs or anything else. What if we have everything, like everything is available and equal? Like we have the chemical, we have the equipment. How do we decide which one is the better one?
Okay. The better one is the one that it depends on the objective as well. If you want to monitor and that thing will not go into your final results, you might get an easy and fast method to do. But if it is something that you have to write it down in your thesis or in the publication, maybe you go for the one that is widely accepted. For example, like glucose. Okay, you have so many ways to analyze glucose. For example, you can do reducing sugar, yeah, one way as a rough estimation. You can have like enzymatic method, which is relatively fast, or you can use HPLC, which takes a long time. Okay, and the instrument is not available at your disposal. You have to book it and use it in a certain time. So it depends. I mean, like for example, in a lot of the project that I'm supervising, we want to monitor the change during the fermentation. We chose like reducing sugar because we just want to see how it changed and when we would stop the fermentation. But at the same time of taking those samples, we keep some sample and then we do a good analysis at the end using HPLC. That way you can continue doing things and also get like a widely accepted result at the end. Does it answer your question, Epic?
Yeah, and one other thing on that, so it's based on what is our objectives, or based on previous research, because we do have a literature review, and maybe some of literature review doing that analysis method the A way, and some of that which is the B way, and at the end we can do it both. I mean, we can do it the A way and we can do it the B way. We have the equipment, we have the resources, and we have the chemical and everything else. So what is the best one?
Let me make sure that I understand your question well. Okay, so what you ask is that when you are doing literature review to search for the analytical method, right?
Yes.
And then you find this paper using this method, this paper using another method.
Yes.
And you decide that, hey, is which one I want to follow, right?
Yes. This one.
Okay. If I were you, okay, I can't say for everyone, and my answer is not the definite answer or the most correct answer, okay? But if I see in that situation, what I'll do is I'll see which method I'm most confident with, and I would try that method first, because sometimes when you're actually reading things, it's easy, but when you actually hand on, it's not easy. And I'm not very sure the specific things that you want to analyze, but if you see something like that, if I were you, I will try on and see, okay, and see if it's all right. And maybe if you have time, you could compare the two methods, whether they give with the same sample, whether they give the same a similar answer, and I just chose whatever that gives me the best or easiest for me. I mean, if I were you, and give give an acceptable result from the analysis.
So the most confident method.
Yeah, the most confident method, because I see there are so many things that sometimes you read and you think, hey, I can do this, hey, I can do that, so I pick this one. And then when you start doing that, it's so difficult.
That's right.
Yes. And yeah, there's something like that. And if you and if any one of us here confront that problems or that question, you find something, and if you have something in your mind, you better talk to your advisors for further comments and suggestion.
Alright, and thank you so much.
Yep, you're welcome. มีใครอยากจะถามอะไรไหมคะ จริงๆแล้วเนี่ยอาจารย์มองว่าด้วยวิชานี้เนี่ยมันไม่ใช่วิชาที่เหมือนกับอ่านแล้วไปสอบอะนึกออกไหม เพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยความสำเร็จของวิชานี้มันอยู่ที่คุณเข้าใจและคุณมองออกและคุณรู้ตรงนี้มากน้อยแค่ไหน เพราะฉะนั้นมันไม่จำเป็นที่คุณจะต้องถามอะไรที่มันอยู่ในสไลด์จริงๆคุณสามารถถามอะไรที่มันเกี่ยวข้องได้ทั้งหมดเพราะว่าจริงๆแล้วหัวข้อ research design เป็นหัวข้อที่ค่อนข้างกว้างแล้วคุณจะทำมันได้ไม่ดีถ้าพื้นมันมาไม่ดีก่อนนะคะนึกออกไหมเพราะฉะนั้นอาจารย์ก็เลยเปิดโอกาสให้ถามเพราะอย่างที่เพื่อนถามเมื่อกี้คำถามก็ไม่ได้รีเลทเลยเพราะว่าเพื่อนสงสัยแค่ว่าถ้าสมมุติว่ามีไปดูมาแล้วมีวิธี2 วิธีเราอยากเลือกวิธีไหนดีทั้ง2 วิธีวิเคราะห์อย่างเดียวกันอะไรอย่างเงี้ยหรือว่าถ้ามันมีวิธีวิเคราะห์หลายวิธีทำได้ทุกวิธีเราจะเลือกวิธีไหนดีอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะในลักษณะแบบนี้อาจารย์ว่ามันเป็นโอกาสที่เราจะมาคุยกันอะไรยังไงตรงนี้ได้เพราะมันก็คือเป็นส่วนหนึ่งของเรื่อง research design เนาะโอเคค่ะณตอนนี้มีใครมีอะไรอยากจะคุยกันอีกไหมไม่มีจริงๆแล้วนึกถึงตอนสมัยเราเรียนปตรีอย่างเงี้ยเราไม่มีปัญหาอะไรเกี่ยวกับเรื่องพวกนี้บ้างเลยเหรอ ไม่มี นะคะอาจารย์ช่วยได้หมดเลยแบบประมาณนั้นนะคะโอเคค่ะถ้าอย่างนั้นก็เดี๋ยวก็เราวันนี้เลคเชอร์แค่นี้นะคะ I think I'll finish the lecture now okay and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 okay and we shall finish our lecture on technical research design tomorrow Okay thank you everyone ค่ะ see you tomorrow เดี๋ยวเจอกันวันพรุ่งนี้เช้านะคะสวัสดีค่ะ
ขอบคุณครับอาจารย์สวัสดี
ค่ะ
ครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
อาจารย์